in San Diego. And down right in the middle of it is Allison Williams. Hey, Dub.
Hey there, Walty. Beautiful day here in San Diego for Mother's Day, and as we will see throughout the game, a lot of pink in the park and on the field. All an opportunity for Major League Baseball to go to bat against breast cancer. Several of the items wore not only to raise awareness for the disease, but also to raise money. Many of the items available for auction after the game. It's also a chance for players to say thanks, Mom, to all the moms who do so much to help them achieve their Major League dreams. We had a chance to talk to some of the Marlins about just what Mom means to them.
She had to put up with a lot. Believe it or not, I was a brat when I was a kid. I was a handful, and she told me some stories the other day when she came down to visit, and I didn't realize how bad I was. But she was very supportive. She worked hard for everything she had, and in return, taught me that I need to work hard for everything too. And she was actually the better athlete between my mother and my father. So my dad would pitch and hit me ground balls and stuff like that, but I'd play catch with her a lot too, and shoot basketball, and she pitched to me in the backyard, wiffle ball and everything. So we had a good time.
My mom sacrificed a lot. Cooked me a lot of good meals as a kid. Made sure I ate healthy, got big and strong, and went to all my games, always supported me, and always supported anything I wanted to do in life. So, I owe a big, huge part of my, career and success to my mom.
My mom was, she was a huge part of my baseball career. There's a lot of things that she had to sacrifice and probably put on the back burner to get me to practices and those sort of things. And I can remember being, preschool or kindergarten, getting home early and going in the front yard playing wiffle ball with her. So, she's definitely a huge part of what I've been able to do.
And it is extra special for Christian Yelich's mom, able to watch him play in person here on Mother's Day for the first time. A few other wives and moms also in attendance for the Marlins. Nice for them to be able to share this day with them. The Marlins all-time on Mother's Day are 12-9. They faced San Diego twice on Mom's Day, splitting both games with them. Today they'll try and get the win to split the series with the Padres as Henderson Alvarez for the Marlins. Game 4, the finale from San Diego on Mom's Day when we come back right here on Fox Sports Florida.
Sports Florida, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability 1-800-PICK-AT&T. Rethink possible by Checkers. Visit your local Checkers for the $2 shrimp and fries box. And by your South Florida Honda dealers and sfhondadealers.com. Beautiful bayfront here in San Diego. The Marlins and the Padres finishing a 4-game set. Marlins got game 1. The Padres in a big way. Games 2 and 3. Marlins lineup. Christian Yelich is back in the leadoff spot. Reed Johnson with a couple of hits yesterday. Giancarlo Stanton, Casey McGee. Jeff Baker had 3 hits, including a couple doubles in last night's ball game. Garrett Jones, Adeiny Echeverria, and Jeff Mathis will do the catching and hit 8th in front of Henderson Alvarez. Another lefty on the mound for the Marlins to face.
Yeah, Rich, back-to-back lefties, having seen Eric Stoltz, who doesn't throw quite as hard as Erlin. Erlin not overpowering, but a little bit more on the fastball. He'll cut the ball. So 2 lefties in a row. A little switch in the lineup for Mike Redmond.
Yelich leading it off. Pitch a penny. Bring you that first pitch. And Erlin throws a strike, and it's 0-2, just like that. The Marlins, last 4 games, just the 8 runs and a slew of strikeouts. Almost a record-setting run for the Padres pitching staff. Breaking ball in the dirt, 49 strikeouts. The good news is, in the 4 games, Miami is 2-2.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just in this series alone, 39 strikeouts in 3 games.
Padres in their customary Sunday camouflage on a military Sunday here in San Diego, one of the great military cities across our country.
And as you pointed out, recognized every Sunday home game by the Padres.
And the Padres in the camo uniforms play very well. They're 21-9 since the start of the 2012 season in the camo.
Well, they have a lot of support, and they play in those camo jerseys.
Yes, they do. They could go up the road to Camp Pendleton. Yelich with a 2-2 pitch coming. Up the middle. It's Jerko. That's close. And he's out.
Well,
San Diego's defense.
Yelich going up the line makes everybody defensively in the infield have to work quickly. Smith, Venable, and Denorfia in that outfield, with Headley, Amarista getting a start at shortstop. Jerko and Alonso over on the right side. There's Monty Grandal behind the plate.
All the West Coast games getting going right now on this Sunday afternoon. Reed Johnson wearing the sweet shoes. Takes outside. Johnson getting the start yesterday. Look at that, Tommy Hutton on a Mother's Day.
Yeah, those are nice.
Special Adidas kicks for him.
Those are worth a couple of hits right there.
Well, he had a couple of hits last night, including an RBI double and 2 for 4 in the start against Eric Stoltz. Both Reed Johnson and Jeff Baker looked good last night. Hammered down the line, and like a bullet, it rockets off the fence. Johnson around first, headed for second, and he's in there with a double. My goodness. 2 thumbs up.
It's the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes. Mom?
That's a great start. This ball is just short of being a home run because he hits it so hard. Reed Johnson with the line drive. It's about halfway up that fence. Good play by Smith in left field. He's done everything right in this series. A little scary when you round first and you see the throw coming in, but the throw was a little offline. So good start for Reed Johnson.
And here is Giancarlo Stanton now to face the lefty as Stanton goes after the first pitch. Pops it into shallow right. Denorfia and Jerko. And it's Chris Denorfia who makes the catch. It's going to be up to Casey McGee to either drive the run in or keep the line moving. Erlin is out of Santa Cruz, and so is McGee. But different generations. Erlin is just 23.
He was actually drafted by the Texas Rangers out of high school. He committed to a pretty good baseball school, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
McGee is 31 out of Santa Cruz.
Was that Mike Kruko? Cal Poly San Luis Obispo?
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Yeah. Ozzie Smith, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
So obviously the recruiting visit by Kruko didn't get Erlin to go on to college, and he got a nice offer as a third-round pick from Texas.
Well, we can ask Kruk when we get to San Francisco in 4 days. Erlin originally drafted by Texas, and then the Padres traded for him in 2011. Mike Adams was the arm that went from San Diego to Texas. The scout that signed him is a great baseball name. Texas scout Butch Metzger.
Oh, yeah. I think I actually faced Butch Metzger. Casey McGee, as he's done all year, hit so well with runners in scoring position. .429 average in those situations.
Johnson at second, 2 outs. There's a breaking ball, and it got McGee. Robbie Erlin strikes out Casey McGee. Miami leaves a runner at second, underway in San Diego.
My mom Nola and my wife Sarah and all the mothers out there, and thank you guys for everything you do for us.
Hi, Mom. Love you so much. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you're doing well. Miss you. Love you.
Thanks, Mom, for all you've done over the years. Happy Mother's Day. Love you.
And a happy Mother's Day to all that are watching, wherever you might be in South Florida or throughout the country. You've happened upon the Marlins and the Padres. Here come the Padres. Will Venable leads it off. Chris Denorfia, Seth Smith, Jed Jerko, Chase Headley, Yasmani Grandal, Yonder Alonso, Alexei Amarista, and Robbie Erlin. And you see the damage that Seth Smith has done. Henderson Alvarez giving that wind up to start the ball game, and a fastball that misses up at 92. It's something that he started to do in the minor leagues, just kind of came up with an old-fashioned windup, and he likes to start the ball game with it. Hammered, right field, deep, gone. And it's more of the same from the Padres today.
It's absolutely amazing when you run into a team that's been so cold, and then all of a sudden everybody starts to hit. Venable's first home run of the year came into the game hitting 184 and jumps on that second pitch for a no-doubter. And we talked about the Padres having scored 19 runs the last 2 games. Just 17 runs over their previous 9 games.
Here is Denorfia. Smith on the way after him. And Alvarez with a fastball that's up. Dana DeMuth is calling balls and strikes. Ron Kopa and Hickok. Lance Barrett. Denorfia 1 for 5 in the series. Right-handed hitter. And Alvarez drops in a strike. Season numbers. Denorfia grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, and then played his college ball at Wheaton College. He was an All-American, a Division III All-American.
Talked about Henderson Alvarez last year, and a little over 100 innings, allowed just 2 home runs. That home run by Venable, the 4th that he's allowed so far this year.
And he misses. Denorfia walks, so a homer and a walk to open things for the Padres here.
And here is a look on this bright, sunny, beautiful day in San Diego. Reed Johnson and Yelich and Stanton in the outfield. Casey McGee, Echeverria, Jeff Baker starting at second. Garrett Jones over at first. And Jeff Mathis will handle Henderson Alvarez.
Well, the Marlins will try to handle Seth Smith, and that's not easy. You can hear the wind swirling. Runner goes. Mathis's throw, not in time. Denorfia is now 6 of 6 in stolen bases. And the Padres have run with a lot of success in this series.
Great jump by Denorfia. Look, he's moving as the delivery's made. Mathis can't do anything faster or better with that catch and throw, but Denorfia beats it.
A strike to Smith.
Sometimes, Rich, early in a game, it's hard to distinguish whether Alvarez has that fastball in the mid-90s range or maybe still low 90s at this point, and what that last pitch was, either fastball or changeup. There's a changeup there at 86.
In watching Henderson Alvarez pitch last year and this year, and talking to Chuck Hernandez, Mike Redmond, location, when he's up, that's trouble. They want him belt buckle and down, maybe even further down, with his fastball and with that power changeup.
And when he is getting those pitches down, he's getting lots of ground ball outs. But not the case during this at bat to Smith.
He's 3-1 on a really hot hitter who came a home run away from the cycle 2 games ago. Last night he was just a single shy of the cycle, and as we pointed out last night, the Padres have never had a hitter hit for the cycle, and Smith has come close in the last 2 ball games. Pulls it on the ground. Jones will get to the bag, and Smith moves Denorfia to scoring position for Jed Jerko.
So even when Smith is making an out, he gets the job done, getting Denorfia over to third base. I'm still amazed that the Padres have never had a guy hit for the cycle with all the years. Tony Gwynn and his Hall of Fame career was here.
Dave Winfield.
Guys that had some speed, guys that had a little power.
And have always played in big ballparks.
Yeah.
Jack Murphy, and here at Petco. Marlins are bringing their infield in right now. And Alvarez facing Jerko. Bouncer, runner holds, and Baker gets the out.
It's a good decision by Mike Redmond and his staff. Get that infield in. A lot of times you don't see it early in a game like that, but struggling scoring runs, you got to mix it up. There's that buzzsaw. Good 2-seamer in on the hands of Jerko. ground ball. Denorfia holds at third. Now the infield can go back with 2 out.
Speaking of back, Chase Headley got back last night and homered. It was a 3-run shot, part of the explosion of runs against the Marlins bullpen. Carlos Marmol and Brad Hand. As well, Carter Capps gave up runs as well, and that a Chase Headley home run, which is deep. The Marlins, after the ball game, designating Carlos Marmol for assignment. Little tapper. And this morning announced that they are recalling Henry Rodriguez, the hard-throwing right-hander. You can see Rodriguez, his numbers with the New Orleans Zephyrs. Major League experience with Oakland, the Nationals, and the Cubs. And for Marmol, just a real struggle, especially the last 3 weeks. And Alvarez gets Headley swinging.
It's a good comeback by Henderson.
After a Will Venable home run. 1-0 San Diego. Start in San Diego. You can help the Marlins get to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Minneapolis. Go to Marlins.com and vote the maximum 25 times to receive 4 tickets to a Marlins game for just $20. Help the Marlins All-Star hopefuls. Voting goes through July 3rd at Marlins.com. Jeff Baker, Garrett Jones, Adeiny Echeverria in the second against Robbie Erlin. And Baker takes down low.
All right, he's seen fastball, he's seen changeup. One of the big differences in Erlin and Stultz is 11 years. Erlin just 23, Stultz 34. Another pretty good changeup. It's a pitch that he likes to use. Nice smooth delivery. Has all 4 pitches generally, and for him to have success, he has to have good command. Little cut fastball after a couple of changeups. And that's how soft tossing lefties can jam and tie up right-handed hitters.
2-2, change up in the dirt. Erlin has a smooth delivery. See Garrett Jones waiting on deck. The wind is breezing from left to right. As you can hear it in the microphones that are around the ballpark, it's a pretty good breeze.
It did not affect the line drive that Reed Johnson hit. He kept it below the wind. You see that temperature? We're going to get up to Los Angeles. They have a heat wave coming through Southern California. It's going to be in the mid-90s.
Wow.
But it's a dry heat. It'll cool down into the 60s, mid to upper 60s in the evening.
And the Marlins play all night games, so Dodger Stadium should be just perfect. 3-2 to Baker. San Diego, with the 2 wins, has improved their record to 17-21. The Giants continue to be the class of the West, with the Rockies right on their tail. San Francisco at 23-14. Rockies are a game back. Baker screaming a liner into right field. Boy, has he swung it well these last 2 ball games. Let's check in with Allison Williams. Hey, Dump.
Well, Rich, every batter in the bottom of the Marlins lineup is yielding the pink Mother's Day bats, and you may notice even more of them this year than previous years. That's because of a change in the rules. Initially, it was only players with contracts with Louisville Slugger that had the pink bats. They were the ones that started this program, implemented using them, donated them, and then auctioned them off to raise more than $1 million for breast cancer research. But last year, some of the players that had contracts with Mizuno or Max Bat felt like that was unfair when they were told they couldn't use the pink bats or black bats with the pink Major League Baseball breast cancer awareness logo. So this year they changed the policy, and everyone that has a Major League Baseball sanctioned bat has it available in the pink color. They felt like it wasn't in the spirit of the bats to make it just available to those with Louisville Slugger bats. They supported it. Major League Baseball got behind it, and you'll see even more of the bright pink bats this year for Mother's Day.
All right, Allison, thank you. Every year they seem to add something a little pinker. The pink sunglasses, I think, might be new this year.
Garrett Jones got the pink on the shoes, the bat, the sleeve. His mom back in Illinois.
Before the game, this is Garrett Jones lacing up those.
See, now those are different than the ones
Nikes.
Reed Johnson had.
Well, Reed's got Adidas.
Adidas, Nike. Boy, those are sweet. You got to get us a pair of those, Rich.
Different shoes, different look. I don't know, Tommy. I don't know that Keds makes any pink.
What were our choices? Black or white? High tops or low tops?
Baker's at first. Jones got a hanging breaking ball, and he pulls it foul. Well, the guys that hit the ball the best last night for Miami have the best swings so far in this one. Reed Johnson was 2 for 4, and he hit the ball hard 3 times last night. And of course, Baker was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles.
And lately, Garrett Jones has swung the bat well. He looked back his last couple of weeks. His average has been over 280. Overall, he's at 244. Much better the last 12, 13 games. And good takes against the left-hander. He's taken a couple of pitches that were close, pitches that Erlin wanted him to chase.
Lefty's hitting 200 against Erlin. Righty's 287. Count 2-2. The at-bat stretches to 3-2. You can see Echeverria. Jones to right. It's hit well, and it's caught. Denorfia. Wow. That's a terrific play by Denorfia to rob Garrett Jones of extra bases.
Wow, he crushed that ball. And I tell you what, initially off the bat, it looked like that ball was going to get over the head of Denorfia. It took off. He takes off and keeps his concentration and makes a terrific catch. Good extension, hangs on, and that ball was scalded by Garrett Jones. Good AB, though. Saw a lot of pitches, took the count 3-2, and had a really good swing.
Now Echeverria with Mathis on deck. Baker a leadoff single. A Will Venable home run is the only run of the ball game. Venable getting his first home run of the season. And that was against Henderson Alvarez on the second pitch that Alvarez threw in the bottom of the first. Ball and a strike. That's Venable out there, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. America's new sports network, the place to turn before every slam, every goal, every game. With America's pregame only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune into America's pregame weeknights at 6 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. And to find Fox Sports 1 on your cable satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Now Mathis. Well, now we know the pink bats are aerodynamically designed.
That pink bat needs just a little more pine tar.
Oh, nice job there by Brett Butler.
All right.
The bat,
look at that,
was in the playing field, and Butler had the bat. He looked at Mathis to see if Mathis wanted the bat. Mathis looked at Butler. Here's a look at the bat going.
Yeah, Mathis kind of said, go ahead.
Yeah, and so Butler picked out the youngster that was closest to it and just made his day.
That's a great shot.
Mathis fouls it at the plate.
Boy, there's a terrific matchup up the road in L.A. this afternoon. The Giants and the Dodgers. Tim Hudson against Clayton Kershaw.
Giants got an early run on a Pablo Sandoval RBI double and a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Baker's been anchored over there at first after a line drive single. Jones robbed of a hit by Denorfia. Echeverria out on a fly ball to center. And Mathis out looking at a good fastball. And Miami has stranded a runner in the first and in the second in a 1-0 Padre lead. Happy Mother's Day. Marlins need a win to get a split in this 4-game series before they head to Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. Then up to San Francisco to see a first place team, at least right now. Now, we've heard from a lot of Marlin players about their Mother's Day greetings. Yasmani Grandal wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to his mom, Maria Gomez. He said at his house, Sundays are always a big day in Miami at the Grandal house, and it's an even bigger day with Mother's Day. He estimates there's probably 8 different moms in the home. So to all you moms that are watching, Yasmani wanted to say Happy Mother's Day. And he taps out. We remind you that if you'd like to be part of the telecast, send us your best fan photo. Hashtag FL Fan Photo. That's brought to you by AT&T. It's our AT&T fan photo. And of course, I couldn't go to Yasmani Grandal and ask him about his Mother's Day greeting without going to Yonder Alonso. And Yonder wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to Damaris, his mother in Miami. 2 Miami guys. And he shoots one into left field. Happy Mother's Day there. Alonso's having a really nice series, 6 for 12, and his bat is starting to perk up.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think it took the Marlins to come to town to get his bat to perk up. But he's all of a sudden swinging it well. 18 games against the Marlins. He's right around a 370 hitter during that time. And that's his perfect swing, driving the ball all over.
Alexi Amarista is in the lineup, and he's at short. Alvarez misses up. Now he's in the lineup because, ironically, on Mother's Day, Everett Cabrera's significant other is about to give birth. To left, Johnson there, and he makes the catch. And Alonso scrambles back to first.
Well, Amarista hasn't started as many games at short. He's not quite the shortstop that Cabrera is, and Cabrera has also swung the bat well in this series.
There aren't too many Padres that haven't swung the bat well in this series. Their lineup has come to life.
Yeah, it's amazing the 19 runs they've scored coming in it today in the last 2 games. The last time they scored 19 runs in 2 games was that series in Miami in 2011. That was the Cameron Maben series when he went crazy.
Little Pop McGee is there, and he makes the catch. Little chest bump with Alvarez on the 3rd out of the 2nd. 1-0 San Diego.
Watching, I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day and tell you I love you and hope to see you soon.
I want to give a shout out to my aunts and my grandma and especially my mom. Happy Mother's Day, and I love you, and I hope you guys are having a great day.
Un saludo por el Día de las Madres a mi mamá, a mi abuela y a todas las mujeres de Miami que son madres que se lo merecen y que son lo mejor que existe en el mundo. Así que muchas gracias y un beso grande.
Mother's Day in San Diego. And a 1-0 Padres lead. Let's go down to Allison Williams. Hey, Dub.
Hey guys, thank you very much. Here with the Lutz family who decided to spend Mother's Day out at Petco Park, a big baseball family, and what could have been a kind of scary moment when Jeff Mathis' bat came flying into the stands ended up being a very memorable moment because Robert here has a pretty cool keepsake now. What do you think of the fact that Brett Butler came over and gave you Jeff's bat?
I really liked it. It was cool, but when the bat went flying, I thought I would get hit in the head.
You were scared at first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these are prime seats, so that means you got to constantly have your head on a swivel here. Jennifer, mother of twins, Mother's Day for you. Why'd you decide to come out and spend it at the park?
Oh, because it's a beautiful day outside, and my kids really enjoy baseball. So what better to see the Padres and the Marlins play today on this beautiful afternoon.
And you're a baseball fan yourself, right?
A big baseball fan. The kid's dad's right here. Greg's here with us, and he has some older boys that play baseball, and we all love it very much.
And Robert, you play baseball, right? What do you play?
I play Pinto League, and I'm on the Orioles.
And you're a catcher, right?
Yes.
Which is pretty cool because now you have Jeff Mathis, the Marlins catcher's bat. And you said, though, even though it's Mother's Day, what are you going to do with the bat?
When I'm older, I'm going to use the bat for baseball on Mother's Day.
How perfect. What a great tribute. Not going to share it with your mom, though, right? That's yours.
No.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy this beautiful day and this beautiful game. Happy Mother's Day to you, Jennifer. Guys, back to you.
Terrific work down there, Allison. Great story. Christian Yelich, Reed Johnson now facing Robbie Erlin in the third. Miami has a hit in each inning and has hit the ball fairly well against Erlin with nothing to show for it. Yelich fouls one off. Reed Johnson doubled off the wall in left in the first. Baker's liner was a shot to right, and then Garrett Jones hit another liner to right. Denorfia made a running over-the-shoulder catch at the warning track. And Yelich swings through it. It's 1-2.
We've talked about it this year, and as the season's progressed, one of the things that has been much improved from Christian Yelich, and I don't think anybody worried about it too much, is his hitting against left-handers. Good take there. Coming into the game, average over 360 against left-handed pitching.
Yelich got a night off last night. That allowed Reed Johnson into the lineup. Johnson had the 2 hits last night and has a double today. Marcell Ozuna really struggled last night. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and he has the day off. Yelich taps it up the middle. Jerko sliding stop on his feet. He's safe.
Talked about the tapper that Yelich hit his first time up. Wasn't quite up the middle that far. And even then, Jerko had to do everything just right. He makes a good play to make that closer than I thought it would be. Yelich really gets up the line nicely, smoothly. And I think word has gotten around the league that you can't hesitate when Christian Yelich hits a ground ball.
Marlins are National League leaders in infield hits. It's an interesting stat because Miami is a team doesn't have a lot of team speed in their lineup. There's Reed Johnson. I mean, the fastest Marlin in their lineup may be Adeiny Echeverria. Yelich right there as well.
I don't know. I think I'd go with Yelich over Etch.
Really?
Yeah. Give him a couple steps. He's on his way.
But with 40 infield hits, this is a ball club, a Miami team that has stolen just 9 bases this year. This is game number 38. Johnson swings and misses.
For Robbie Erlin, it's his first ever appearance against the Marlins. We talked about Anderson Alvarez making his first start against San Diego.
I think to find the team in the National League with the most stolen bases, you just press the Davey Lopes app on your iPhone and locate Davey Lopes. Because the Dodgers have swiped 44 bases.
And I'll bet they have a very good percentage.
They've been caught 13 times. D. Gordon obviously helps. But nobody else is, well, their one team is at 30, but nobody else has more than 30. Cincinnati has 30, and that's a Billy Hamilton. Johnson going after a fastball, trying to poke it into right, and he missed it.
Well, he had that fastball out over the plate. He knew he had, even with 2 strikes, that hole on the right side, but just swung through it. Stanton up there, 0 for 1, but working on that 12-game hitting streak.
Stanton went after the first pitch he saw and hit a fly ball to right. That 12-game hit streak had a lot of thunder early. He had 4 homers, and I believe it was 8 or 9 games. Lately, it's been a single a night.
Ready to bust out. You know he's getting close to headed up to L.A.
Of course, the single he hit last night was the most vicious single I've ever seen. Stan hit a line drive to the right of Jed Jerko, and maybe a little higher at 10, 12 feet off the ground. 112.9 miles an hour off the bat. Most home runs in Major League Baseball clock in at what, 103, 104?
We see a lot of 103, 105 in that area, yeah.
And Stanton this year, as far as the exit speed off of his bat, has recorded the 4 fastest times. And that includes the one from last night. Erlin with the count now 3-1. Casey McGee on deck. And he steps off. Hialeah's Gio Gonzalez is starting back in Oakland today, and it's not going well. Oakland has a 7-0 lead over the Nationals. All 7 runs earned. Stan got that one off the end of the bat and lifted it too much, and Venable finds it and makes the catch. A hit and inning for the Marlins, but they've stranded all 3 in the 1-0 San Diego lead. 3rd in San Diego on a military Sunday here in San Diego. Henderson Alvarez getting set to face Will Venable. Now, Alvarez in his normal first pitch of the night wind up, missed with a fastball. Venable kind of watched that with a little curiosity. And then the next pitch Alvarez threw, Venable hit into the seats.
It's funny how we see games with Alvarez, and in this one we haven't seen the 95-96 on the fastball. So consequently the changeups a little more in the 86 to 87, 88 range.
Alvarez pitches with that sleeve on his right arm. Alvarez, he has some of the funniest reactions to plays. I mean, his reaction to that chopper back to the mound. Some pitchers would panic and fall apart. Watch Alvarez.
Okay, I got it. I mean, he's a well-liked guy in the clubhouse.
Oh, he is.
He's a lot of fun.
He is. His teammates love him. And the jersey's another thing that's a trademark of his. He normally starts with like one button open, and by the time the game gets going, 3 buttons are open. We've seen a couple of times where he's tried to button his shirt back up and he's misbuttoned, and the Miami is askew. He's facing Denorfia. He sends one into center field, a base hit. Chris Denorfia is aboard with 1 out here in the 3rd. The throw gets by everybody, and into second goes Denorfia. That should not happen in a major league game. Shouldn't happen in a college or a high school game.
Yeah, that's going to make college coaches and high school coaches upset. You knew that Denorfia, once he got on first, was going to try to steal, but just a poor throw by Christian Yelich over everybody's head, and alertly Denorfia gets to second base in scoring position.
And here is Seth Smith. The throw was over Jeff Baker's head, but the middle infield, whether the throw is high or not, you've got 2 guys there. One is the initial cutoff man. The other is the guy that backs the throw up. And Smith steps out. Here's another look at it.
I think it kind of catches Yelich in between. But still, you're not expecting, if you're at Chavarria, Yelich, who's not that far away from Baker, to lob it over his head.
I think collectively there's a little bit of blame to go around on everybody there. Even Alvarez seemed surprised by it, and he was standing in the middle of the diamond.
Talk about how hot we've been talking about Seth Smith this entire trip with the way he's hit. He's hit a couple of triples in this series. I saw a note on Smith. His previous 603 at bats, he did not have a triple, and he has 3 triples already. And look at the month of May. Tulowitzki's actually come down a little bit, hitting .515.
Marlins are headed to see Puig and Posey before this trip is up.
Talk about an offensive year that Tulowitzki's having so far. #1 in slugging, hitting .405, on base percentage over .500.
Smith, a hard ground ball. Baker has it and gets the out. So there are 2 outs. Denorfia is now at third, and here comes Jed Jerko. You can give your group the true VIP treatment at a Marlins game. The Legends and Fiesta Suites offer the suite experience on a single game basis and feature all-inclusive food and beverage menus, premium seats, big screen TVs, personal service, and a perfect view of the game. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/groups. Jerko bounced to second, is only a bat.
Seen 5 ground ball outs so far. That's a good sign. Anderson Alvarez, since 2012, has induced almost 60% ground ball outs.
Mathis smothered. In his shutout of Seattle, he had 17 ground ball outs. The 2-hit shutout. And of course, he's coming off a 6-hit shutout of the Mets. He lost his shutout on the second pitch of the day when Venable hit it in the seats.
You know, he had a shutout in 2012 in his season with the Toronto Blue Jays. And I saw a note yesterday that Anderson Alvarez and Adam Wainwright are the only pitchers in the major leagues with at least 1 shutout in each of the last 3 seasons.
Center field, Yelich makes the catch, and the inning ends. 3 innings on a Mother's Day, and it's 1-0 San Diego. San Diego Harbor, and a great tourist attraction. Welcome home. Very cool site. There's a variety of Navy aircraft carrier and ships parked out in the harbor. Our hotel has a terrific view of the water and all of that. Erlin with a curveball for a strike.
Saw Casey McGee's parents at the team hotel. So his mom and dad down from Santa Cruz. They're in town.
Well, Erlin's been sharp. Marlins A double in the first by Reed Johnson. Baker single in the second. Yelich a single in the third. And that's it. 4 strikeouts. Well, Marlins got off to a good start yesterday. Casey McGee in the first inning, homering to left.
Well, he made his first one a nice one, well over 400 feet on that home run by Casey McGee.
And strike 3 called. McGee goes down. Erlin gets the strikeout.
5 strikeouts already for Robbie Erlin, who's really not considered a strikeout type pitcher.
Baker now lined to single to right, his first time up. Marlins headed to Los Angeles tomorrow night. Chavez Ravine. First of a 3-game set. Amarista throws out Baker. Tom Kohler, Dan Herron tomorrow night. Josh Beckett, Jacob Turner Tuesday night. Jose Fernandez, Paul Maholm on Wednesday. And of course, everything starts with the Honda Live, our Honda pregame show of Marlins Live, your South Florida Honda dealers. Happy to bring it to you.
Happy to bring Preston Wilson to the West Coast.
Oh, we better get our really good shirts and ties out.
Yeah, we got to work hard.
Marlins Live pregame and postgame will be live from Dodger Stadium.
You know, between Preston Wilson and Vin Scully, we'll have to step it up.
Need to ask Vin about the hair products he uses, because it's always perfect. One of our most favorite things to do at Dodger Stadium as broadcasters is get to the ballpark, and instead of going down the field first, we change our routine. We go to the booth first, because right around 4:30, Vin Scully is recording all the drop-ins and the billboards on tape, and our booth is right next to his. So while we write our lineups in, we listen to Vin Scully do the Farmer Johns.
And for me, it takes me back to my childhood.
It's just awesome. It's incredible because his voice is just so perfect and so pristine. Jones fights it off. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll get to hear who all the Dodger sponsors are. 2-2. Will Venable's first inning home run is the only run here in San Diego on Mother's Day. And Robbie Erlin is pitching a gem right now. A 3-hit shutout
mucho. A ti y a todas las madres del mundo. Gracias por traerme al mundo. Felicidades, te quiero. ¡Mua!
Me llamo Anderson Álvarez. Un feliz día a todas las madres.
Happy Mother's Day. 1-0 San Diego on top. Henderson Alvarez against Chase Headley, Yasmani Grandal, Yonder Alonso.
And I worked on that a little bit today, Rich. Feliz Dia de las Madres.
Who was your helper? Did you have a tutor?
I have an app.
Of course you do.
But I ran it by, just to make sure, our tremendous director of team travel, Manny Colon. If not for Manny, we would not be at places, have great hotels, show up on time.
The director of team travel handles a lot more than just travel.
Yeah.
And he handles it very, very well. Headley with the count 2-1. Knocks it to left, and it's in there for a base hit. Padres and their fans are happy to have Headley back. If San Diego's going to make some noise this year, they need Headley to get back to just something close to his 2012 form. He didn't have to duplicate it. Didn't have to win the Silver Slugger and the Gold Glove and all of that, but just have some production and be a presence in the lineup.
Yeah, I think a guy in his situation, if Headley can give him 15, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, and play third base the way he can, that's all Bud Black can ask for. And then shortly, I'd say within a week, they should have another productive bat in their lineup, Carlos Quentin.
You know, the bat that Grandal is using is almost red and not pink. And it suits today. He told me that when he was in Cuba, and he played baseball in Cuba when he was 6 or 7 years old, his mom used to go to the games, and she always had a red umbrella, which was good and bad. He said it was good because he knew where his mom was, but it was bad when his mom started getting on the umpires because then the umpires knew whose mom was on him. Changeup misses high. His arrival in Cuba is an interesting story. His uncle escaped on a boat and got to Miami, and then entered Yasmani's parents and family in a lottery. There's a lottery for relatives, and they won the lottery, and that's how he was able to come over.
Isn't it interesting how the arrival of a lot of the Cuban players, every story is a little bit different.
It is. And of course, Grandal would go to Miami Springs High School and then the University of Miami. Always has had a good eye. His on-base percentage in the minor leagues coming up over 400. 2012, his on-base was 394. Runner goes, drive to left, hit well. Johnson at the track makes the catch. Grandal still looking for his first hit of the series. This copyrighted telecast presented by the Authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins.
Just thinking about it, Rich, guys like Yonder Alonso and Grandal, and even though their arrivals different than Jose, they were able to get here at a young enough age to go to high school. And of course, in the case of Alonso and Grandal, onto the U.
Yonder Alonso went to Coral Gables High School and then to the University of Miami. Fernandez, of course, went to Alonso High School, which is in Tampa. And they both have hit very well against the Marlins in their career.
Now, you mentioned 6 for 12 in the series for Yonder Alonso with his base hit back in the second.
Chase Headley still at first. Bud Black had started him during the Grandal at bat, and Mathis doesn't like what he sees from Alvarez. He's on his way out to talk to Miami starter.
He's not happy about him falling behind in the count to a guy who's a good hitter.
Alvarez trying to shake himself out there. This is one of those, we've seen, obviously, Ederson Alvarez on nights where he has no-hit stuff and has pitched a no-hitter and has been dominant. The 2 shutouts that he threw. This is not one of those games. This is a game where he's really battling and trying to figure it out on the fly.
This is the kind of game that, and he's done it so far, really allowing just the one hit, one run, is that he has to try to keep the hitters off balance. Because he doesn't have that overpowering. It doesn't appear, anyway, that he has that overpowering stuff.
And he misses. So he walks Alonso. The only redeeming point of this inning now for Alvarez is that he's got the 8-9 hitters coming up now. Amarista and Erlin, although Amarista hit it hard, a line drive to left. Here is Amarista. Amarista, the 25-year-old Venezuelan, was originally signed by the Angels. Came over in the trade for Ernesto Frieri, a really good bullpen arm. Over the head of Baker, into right field. Stanton has it. Runner comes home. Stanton's throw is home, and in there is Headley. Everybody moves up. And Alexei Amarista stretches the lead to 2-0. This guy has hurt the Marlins this year.
Boy, he sure has. Pitches up, and he stays on it with the line drive. And with the throw coming in from Giancarlo over the head of Garrett Jones, the runners were able to advance. And don't rule out a squeeze on a play like this. A lot of managers will try to sneak in an extra run after a little activity on the bases.
Infield in. Erlin is up. Alvarez. Misses. You can see Erlin choking up. Chopper. Echeverria fires to first and gets the out. Fox Sports Florida proud to introduce the all-new Miami Marlins Fan Express. It's a first-class coach bus with VIP seating for up to 50. Just email groups@marlins.com or call 305-480-2523 for more information on how you and your friends can travel in style to see the Marlins play at Marlins Park all season. Will Venable, and it's the third time through for Venable. A home run in the first, and it started the day for Alvarez, and the ball strike ratio is nowhere close to where you would hope it would be. Change up and a good one, and it's a foul ball.
Usually with Henderson Alvarez, and we talk about it, he's one of those pitchers that you say just attacks the strike zone with good fastballs, good sinking fastballs, and that hard changeup. But it's been a little different story for him today.
Amarista out at second. Alonso the runner at third. Alvarez. There's a breaking ball. He's really trying to get creative right now, Tommy. And he may be the most creative starter that the Marlins have. The guy that can improvise.
Yeah, there's a situation. He went with his third best pitch with a couple of runners on second and third, but threw a good breaking ball. But I think he really crossed up Venable with it.
Padres have 5 hits. Alvarez has walked 2. Marlins have committed an error. And yet if Alvarez gets this hitter, it'll just be a 2-0 ball game, and it easily could be worse.
Well, and we've seen the importance of the starters trying to get deeper into games, and talking with Mike Redmond before this game today about last night with the struggles of Nathan Eovaldi and having to go to the bullpen as early as he did.
The Marlins, up until last night, were a first-place team. They sit at 20-17, and every team has its warts, so to speak. Every manager sits in his office and wishes he had more of this and more of that. And for the Marlins, the tough part has been that middle relief. And not necessarily on nights where you have the lead. Mike Dunn and A.J. Ramos have done a respectable job in that role, leading to Steve Cishek, who's one of the better closers in the game. But it's the rest of that relief crew that's been an issue.
And on the road, changes your thinking a little bit, too. You don't get that last at bat.
What do you think Don Mattingly wishes he had in Los Angeles?
Well, we saw him strapped with his bullpen a little bit. Brian Wilson struggled.
Bud Black wishes he had more offense.
That's what we could create, a wish list for every manager.
Terry Collins probably wishes he had a healthy Matt Harvey and Bobby Parnell.
And a little more offense.
And a little more offense. Venable's going to get a 3-2 pitch here. And he takes it in. Now you got the bases loaded, and here comes Denorfia, who has walked and singled.
And you have 3 walks, and then you're going to have the walk from Chuck Hernandez out to talk with Alvarez. But Henderson came into the game, he'd walked only 11. 3 so far in this one, and that's where the struggles came from Nathan Eovaldi last night. 5 innings. Eovaldi walked 4 and struck out just 3. And really battled every inning he was out there.
Marlins and Dodgers tomorrow night. Dodgers trailing the Giants 1-0. As Tommy pointed out, that's a marquee pitching matchup with Tim Hudson.
What a year Hudson's had.
Hudson's ERA is 1.83, and he's going against Clayton Kershaw.
And the Marlins will probably get Hudson in that series.
Kershaw has given up a run, and his ERA is still under 1. It's 0.96. The 1-0 Giants, bottom 5, up at Chavez Ravine. Bases filled with Padres, all in their camouflage jerseys. Henderson Alvarez has had his pitch count rocket up to 66.
You know, the big topic, obviously, playing at home, playing on the road, but everything centers so much around pitching. And so far in these games, we've seen 3 starters really struggle with their command. Jose struggled with that. Evaldi did last night. And Henderson Alvarez is today.
And of course, the Marlins swept the Mets and scored a grand total of 8 runs in 3 games. So it wasn't like they were lighting up the scoreboard to finish off the homestand. Here's a 1-1 pitch. What they were doing was getting great starting pitching and good bullpen in those games.
The best start of this series has come from Jacob Turner, who in his 6 innings gave up just 5 hits and a run. The Marlins winning that first game of the series in 11 innings, 3-1.
DeNorfia sitting on a good pitch here. A struggling Henderson Alvarez with the bags loaded, and a 2-1 coming. Way out. DeNorfia ready. Let's see what he gets. 3-1. He nearly came out of his shoes.
Well, and you got a good feeling. He knew he was going to see fastball. You got that guy, Seth Smith, on deck. So he knew he was going to get fastball. He got it, came out of his shoes, and fouled it off. If Alvarez felt he had command of the changeup, he could go with that here, but he just hasn't had that command to this point.
3-2. Down the line and out of play.
Good fastball, though, at 96. He reached back a little extra.
So everybody back to their bases. Alonso at third, Amarista at second, Venable at first. 33rd pitch of the inning coming up. Runners on the move, the 3-2. Ground ball, base hit, left field. That will score 2. And San Diego stretches the lead to 4-0. Alvarez really boxed himself into a corner.
Well, and you got a guy in there because Maven's getting a day off, so DeNorfia gets the start. And he has come through with a big afternoon. His second base hit. Key at bat there, but he kind of got himself in a great situation because of the way Alvarez has been struggling. He knew what he was going to get, especially with Smith on deck.
Well, here is Smith. And ironically, with the Padres up 4-0, and all the carnage that Smith has caused leading into this ball game, he's 0 for 2. .35th pitch of the inning coming up. And Alvarez misses badly. Marlins bullpen is in motion. Looks like Kevin Slowey is up. And that's a base hit. And it's 5-0. And Henderson Alvarez afternoon has taken a bad turn here.
8 for 16 in the series with 7 RBIs from Seth Smith.
75 pitches in the ball game. 36 of them have been thrown here in the bottom of the fourth. First and second. And Alvarez spins one up there to Jerko.
And the bad news is that the Padres, when they score 4 or more runs,
are unbeatable.
Are 12-1.
Wow. That's how good their bullpen is. It is one of the best in baseball. And their starting pitching has been good this year as well. Jerko goes after a high fastball, misses.
Well, it's going to be 3 starts in a row where the Marlins starters haven't gone beyond 5 innings. And that does a lot of damage to your bullpen.
In the dirt. 2-2. There aren't too many 40-pitch innings that I can remember.
They're not recommended.
No. As stressful innings go, this is about as much as one would face. And this may be his last hitter.
Well, and he's due up third, so this, if he gets Jerko here, this is going to be his last hitter anyway. But because you know you probably are going to have to use a pinch hitter, you'd like him to get through the inning himself.
He got him. And so Alvarez on 42 pitches finishes the fourth. Bluebell Ice Cream by the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over. And by South Florida Volkswagen dealers, save thousands during Volkswagen's first really big sale. That's a really big ship coming into San Diego Harbor. But Danny Echeverria, it's a really big lead out there right now for this San Diego pitching staff. 5 runs for San Diego. Echeverria, Jeff Mathis, and then Alvarez's spot, which will be a pinch hitter.
You know, Robbie Erlin, the left-hander, getting an opportunity and taking the place of Josh Johnson in the rotation. If not for the Tommy John surgery that JJ had to undergo, we might be seeing him on this Sunday afternoon.
Etch fouls it back to the screen. Miami has just 3 hits. And Erlin has struck out 6. That one gets through into center field. Echeverria leads off with a base hit. And here comes Mathis.
Good job by Etch. Good approach to this left-hander to try to stay up the middle, out of the reach of Amarista.
Erlin is just 1 shy of his career high in strikeouts. Mathis, a long look down. Brett Butler. Donovan Solano is in the on-deck circle. Top 5 in San Diego. And ever since the Marlins won Game 1 of the series, it's been all Padres. A team that 2 nights ago was last in Major League Baseball in a lot of offensive categories has exploded for 10 runs, 9 runs, and already in this ball game 5 runs. And as you pointed out, Tommy, it's one thing to say that the Marlins offense hasn't translated to the road. In this series, the Marlins pitching, both starting pitching and bullpen, has not translated.
Yeah, the Marlins have tried to dig themselves out of holes just about every game. And sometimes when that happens, that gets you out of your game plan, your pattern as a hitter. Talked about how the Marlins have fit so well at home. You get in a hole, you get down 3 or 4 runs.
Padres, as we noted, are chasing 2 teams that have really been hot lately, the Giants and the Rockies. San Diego behind the Dodgers as well. The Giants a 1-game lead over the Rockies in the West. Mathis still alive with a count 3-2. Foxtrax says that had plenty of the plate. And Mathis is fortunate. Let's see what he does with a 3-2. Echeverria at first. High fly ball, right field corner. Denorfia is there, and he makes the catch. That's a real difficult spot for an outfielder, trying to gauge as his feet hit the warning track, because all of a sudden the fence is uneven.
The Marlins, a couple of them have flirted with that little short area down the right field line. Giancarlo hit one near there the other night. But a good play by Denorfia, who's a good outfielder, chasing that one down.
Here is Solano. It's funny how when this ballpark was built, and I remember back in 2004, a lot of people said you're going to see home runs into that little porch in right field. And it used to be more pronounced before they moved the fence in right field. It used to really stick out there in right field. That's why they have that yellow stripe on the bar, which signifies home run. But really, you haven't seen a whole lot of home runs hit into that porch. At least I haven't in my days calling games here.
Now they need to get that pure left-handed pull hitter in their lineup. Robinson Cano would take advantage of that for a large sum, you might add.
Breaking ball for a strike. Maybe if Johnny Pesky played here. Of course, they named the foul pole in right field in Boston the Pesky pole. And yet Pesky didn't hit more than, what, a half a dozen home runs.
Probably hit a couple of them down that line.
And that became his pole. I mean, if Amarista were to hook a few down there, maybe they'd name it after him.
Amarista pole.
Or maybe put a coffee stand out there and you could be the Amarista barista.
I like that.
Solano hitting for Alvarez here in the 5th. Wow. The scouting report calls that a big hammer curveball. And that's exactly what it is.
Well, Erlin has done a number. He starts it up high out of the strike zone. It's away, and then it comes back. And that ties a career high.
7 strikeouts.
7 strikeouts now for Robbie Erlin. And that's another theme that we've talked way too much about here in San Diego, the strikeouts. So that's 46 strikeouts now in the 3.5 games the Marlins have played here in San Diego.
Yelich fouls it off. Tim Stauffer. Erlin has been effective, but his pitch count is up in the mid-80s. Working here in the 5th. Echeverria still at first. In this era, the patron saint of the big hammer curve like that is Barry Zito. For left-handers. Former Marlin Rick Vandenherk had a big curveball from the right side.
Holland hammer.
Zito is still a free agent and not signed with anyone, I believe. I think he's still working out and hoping to catch on with someone. Kevin Gregg is another arm like that. Stephen Drew, to my knowledge, hasn't signed with anybody. And Erlin just keeps doing what he's done all day long, and that's get outs with a 5-0 lead.
Just want to say thank you for everything. There's no way I would be here without you. Look forward to getting back to Pittsburgh and giving you a big hug and kiss. I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
To my mom, Amy, happy Mother's Day, and thanks for everything you've done for me.
I just want to wish my mom, Teresa, a very happy Mother's Day. Thanks for helping me get here. Probably couldn't be here without you. And to my wife, Ashley, you're going to be a mother soon. And Riley's going to be very lucky to have a mom like you. So happy Mother's Day, all the moms out there.
And a Mother's Day that is being enjoyed by Padre fans for sure. Kevin Slowey into the ball game. 5-0 San Diego. And foul by Chase Headley. Headley, Yasmani Grandal, and Yonder Alonso for the Padres. Henderson Alvarez afternoon was not a good one, to say the least. The Marlins came in with a talented young rotation, and you looked at the series, and the biggest question mark for the Marlins was Jacob Turner's start, and Turner turned in the best start.
That's one of those you're not going to figure it that way coming into this 4-game series.
Henderson Alvarez, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. And he walked 3 and struck out 2.
These are the spots. It's a catch-22. You love to have a guy like Kevin Slowey in the bullpen who can come on and in a game like this to give you 2-3 innings. On the other hand, you don't want to find yourself in this spot too often.
That pop-up down the line. Jones with a terrific catch. Looking back, not even looking back over the shoulder, just looking up into the sky as he's running away from the ball.
Well, he channels his inner Willie Mays. What a great job. That's tremendous concentration. You're right. When you can look over one shoulder, it's a little easier to judge that ball. But he just had to go right over the top of his head.
Yasmani Grandal is bounced out, lined out. That one's popped up. Mathis has a look and makes the catch. Couple pop outs from Kevin Slowey. Party areas, suite rentals, special event nights, and fundraisers. It's all part of a group outing, and you can experience the Marlins through a variety of group packages. 305-480-2523 or go to marlins.com/groups.
Look at Garrett Jones reaching over his shoulder just the way he did for that catch.
Alonso takes down low. Atlanta beat the Cubs 5-2. Aaron Harang was back on it today. He's 4-3 with an ERA of just under 3. The Astros knocked off a hot Baltimore team in Baltimore 5-2. The save in that ball game, Chad Qualls.
Wow. You know, just thinking that if Mike Redmond were Freddie Gonzalez, he'd be accusing the San Diego Padres of stealing signs and getting signs in their home ballpark. Just trying to stir it up a little bit.
It's 5-0 here in the fifth.
But, I mean, here's the ball club. The Marlins have been playing so well. The Padres, one of the worst, if not the worst, offensive club in the National League. The Marlins come to town. The Padres absolutely unload. And you know what? That's just the way the game goes. And so there have been no accusations at all.
You look at the Marlins, and if you really want to get to the nitty-gritty of why they haven't pitched well, they haven't thrown strikes. They haven't located their fastball. Alvarez was all over the place. Jose Fernandez did not have good fastball location, and Eovaldi shot into right field, and another hit for Alonso. He's got 7 hits in this series.
Yonder Alonso is going to hate to see the Marlins head north to Los Angeles. Here is a look is exactly what you were talking about, Rich. Jose did not have command. A lot of fastballs up. Everyone that was up was hit hard. A real struggle for Nathan Eovaldi last night. And wow, the numbers of Henderson Alvarez.
And that also goes for the bullpen. Last night, Carlos Marmol didn't have great command. Brad Hand walked a couple, and they both scored. Carter Capps walked a leadoff hitter, and he scored. Crack staff wanted to find out where that 42-pitch inning ranked this year. Swing and a miss. Mathis is thrown out in time, and Alonso steals the bag.
A guy who doesn't see a lot of bases, so just walking lead, great jump, and stole that off Kevin Slowey.
His third.
So there was a pitcher this year that had more than a 42-pitch inning.
James Shields had a 50-pitch inning.
An outstanding pitcher, too. Yeah. James Shields.
Chris Tillman had a 49-pitch inning. Drew Smiley, 45. Ryan Vogelsong, 44. Alvarez, 42.
So the crack staff not falling asleep on the West Coast.
Not yet. Former Marlin Chris LaRue had a 40-pitch inning in relief.
Pitching for the Yankees.
It was in the 14th inning. Maurice's got he's got the sweet Mother's Day necklace going. I mean, we've seen a lot of pink. Look at that that little pink Mother's Day necklace. On MLB.com, there's a link to a lot of the Mother's Day gear that you see. Personalized bats from Louisville Slugger. You get the necklaces, wristbands, pink arm sleeves.
Well, the youngster down the third baseline is not going to have to go online to get his personalized bat.
Now his is game used, authentic. A huge portion of the stuff that you buy online that has the Mother's Day stuff goes to breast cancer research and MLB charities. Erlin is up, has popped out and bounced out. %, of the walks by Marlin relievers have scored. It's the 7th highest percentage in Major League Baseball. Slowly with fastballs is out in front of the Padres starter, Robbie Erlin. It's the 5th. And it's 5-0 San Diego. And the way the Marlins have swung the bats, it feels like it's 8, 9, 10-0. That would be strike 3 called. Miami trying to muster some offense as they head to the 6th. Let's check in with Allison Williams.
In celebration of Mother's Day, we've seen a lot of pink throughout the game. And one area that is also different and pink today for Mother's Day, the balls. The seams are pink. The logos are pink, and I remember last year there was the first year that they did this. Some players were concerned that it would make it more difficult to pick up the pitch. First of all, just the difference in the color in the seams, but also you don't have the contrast from the prints to the seams like you would on a normal baseball. But apparently it wasn't that big of an issue according to Major League Baseball. They brought them back again this year, the unique pink baseballs, and all the Marlins were given their own pink baseballs back in Miami to have as keepsakes. A lot of people were trying to snag them last year, so Major League Baseball made a point to deliver them at home to them in Miami, and then these are the ones in use here today for Mother's Day. Guys.
Very nice. The Padres seem to like the pink stitching. They've got 5 runs. Miami shut out so far by the little lefty Robbie Erlin. And there's that curveball that he's thrown so well. Reed Johnson, Giancarlo Stanton, Casey McGee for a Marlins team that is struggling for runs right now. Lost 9-3 last night, 10-1 on Friday, and had a 3-1 win in Game 1 of the series. Major League Baseball manufactures the balls in Costa Rica. Every baseball is sewn by hand. Rawlings, the official maker. And then they rub the mud onto the ball to take the shine off, help the grip.
Delaware River.
Reed Johnson bounces out, and there's one out here in the 6th. Dale Thayer getting ready. We always have seen Thayer. Alex Torres, the lefty. Here's Stanton now. He is 0 for 2. He's flied out twice. Erlin has struck out a career high 7.
Talking about Padre relief. They traded away 3 years ago a pretty good relief pitcher to get Robbie Erlin. Traded away Mike Adams to Texas.
Stan's hit streak is alive at 13 now as he clubs one into left.
reaches out, tags that one pretty well, which he usually does.
You know, some organizations seem to specialize in certain positions. The Padres have always had a really good bullpen and a deep bullpen. Obviously, Trevor Hoffman was here for many years. Heath Bell had a few good years here
had some all-star years
as a closer. But the middle relief has always been deep and talented, and you've got to give credit, obviously, to Kevin Towers to begin with. Towers was the architect of many of those bullpens. The current regime,
Josh Burns and his crew now.
But Bud Black and Darren Balsley especially, and a guy that doesn't get a lot of publicity. That's one of the things the Padres do really, really well.
Kind of an interesting group they've put together too, as special assistants in the baseball operations department. Mark Loretta, Mark Kotze. How about this? All Marks. And Mark Pryor.
McGee to right to Norfia there, and he makes the catch. While there may be some Padres that want to use these pink bats tomorrow, I don't know that the Marlins will be too jazzed about using them.
Yeah, the other bats worked pretty well for the Padres the last two games, though, as well.
Where were we? I mean, it was 7 years ago. Joe Borchard homered on Mother's Day.
Joe Borchard.
And then kept using. I think Jorge Cantu may have done the same. Guys that had success on Mother's Day just showed up the next day and kept using the pink bats.
And that was acceptable.
I don't think you can do that anymore.
I don't think you can do that, though. Yeah, I mean, though, if you're hot, would you just do it and take the fine?
Pay the fine.
Pay the fine.
Especially if the fine went to breast cancer research, which it should.
There you go. Well, it hasn't mattered for Seth Smith in this series.
Baker's 1 for 2. Stanton standing at first. Erlin's done a real nice job of limiting the Marlins and spreading the 5 hits throughout his 6 innings.
This could be it for him. He's a couple of pitches away from 100. Well, he pitched a terrific game his last time out, Robbie Erlin. In a no decision, Padres lost to Kansas City, but he went 7 innings. Gave up 3 hits, just 1 run, and threw 103 pitches.
Kansas City had a lead, and it's disappeared in Seattle. Dustin Ackley, Kyle Seager have homered. Ackley's hit 2, actually. And it's 7-5 Seattle over Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th. Seattle is actually 2 over 500 right now at 19-17. Ball in the dirt. Stanton hustling. Nice job by Giancarlo. He was rolling, and as soon as he saw it in the dirt, he took the bag.
That's just heads up, and it's good to see, especially you have a game where you're down 5-0, get that nice secondary lead. You're on your way. You're not standing on your heels. And as soon as that ball got away from the catcher, he took off. What a big comeback win for the Mets against the Phillies.
Who gave it up for the Phillies bullpen?
Antonio Bastardo.
There's a 2-2. Baker fouls it off. Toyota trend. Miami against lefties. Very good, but even that on the home and the road is a dramatic difference. And it continues here today. Robbie Erlin has him baffled. Eric Stoltz did the deed yesterday.
Yeah, Bastardo gave up a 2-run homer to Daniel Murphy in the 9th inning, and then in the 11th inning, about to be the 11th, the Mets won the game 5-4.
Giants and Dodgers have started to score a few runs in that Hudson-Kershaw matchup. Yasiel Puig has homered, but the Giants have a 3-2 lead in the top of the 7th.
Ruben Tejada with a walk-off single for the Mets.
Brandon Hicks has homered for San Francisco. Baker rolls it to short. Amarista across the diamond. And Robbie Erlin has just put 6 shutout innings in the scorebook. Good times our AT&T U-verse rewind.
God, thanks for the memories with that one.
Kevin Slowey, his 2nd inning of work. If you're just coming by this one, this guy set the tone on the 2nd pitch of the game. He hit it out to right field, and it was game on at that point. Henderson Alvarez wasn't sharp. He really scuffled through 4 innings. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits.
It's probably the description we could use for Jose Fernandez and Nathan Eovaldi in their starts as well. Scuffled, command wasn't there.
Venable, then Denorfia, and then Smith.
Get any easier up at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers with that terrific lineup.
And the Dodgers will be looking for a little revenge. Miami took 2 of 3 from them in Miami.
And especially if the Giants hold on and beat them today, too.
Slow with the good breaking ball. Against Venable. The road trip continues. Let's Google map it. Chavez, Ravine. Tomorrow through Wednesday, Marlins, Dodgers. Puig, Manley, Crawford, Ethier, Kemp. I miss anybody?
Adrian Gonzalez.
Sorry. And then to San Francisco. AT Park. Hunter Pence.
Kung Fu Panda. Mike Morse.
Buster Posey. Brandon Hicks. And they have an infielder that we're still trying to learn the pronunciation of.
Yeah, by the way, how about Brandon Hicks? The job that he's done. Playing some second base.
And we talked about his home run in the 7th inning. Giants have a 3-2 lead in Los Angeles against the Dodgers.
Rich, that would be Ehire Adrianza.
There you go.
I believe. We'll find out a little bit more about him in San Francisco.
He's been playing shortstop. He got the start at short in this one. So he turns the 1-2. He's out to Denorfia. Nice day for Denorfia. A walk, a stolen base, a single, and then a 2-run single. Sends it to gap, right center field. Yelich closes on it and makes the catch. Got a Southern California outfield out there for Miami. Right, Stanton right, Yelich in center, Reed Johnson in left.
And of course, Reed Johnson out of Cal State Fullerton.
Temecula, California.
It's Rob Brantley area, Temecula. Reed actually born in Riverside.
2-0. Boy, that Oakland lead over Washington just grows by the inning. 9-0 now. The Athletics chased Gio Gonzalez after 4 1/3. And Gonzalez gave up 7 runs, all of them earned. He gave up 2 2-run homers to Derek Norris. Norris hit a 3-run shot, 2 3-run homers. 1 in the first and 1 in the second. Let's see what Norris has done since then. That's it.
It's a tough outing for Gio against his former team, the A's.
Norris has since walked and has an 0-for, so he's 2 for 3 with 6 RBIs.
I mean, that's not quite Fernando Tatis hitting 2 grand slams in 1 inning, but wow, 2 3-run homers in consecutive innings.
The other 3 runs were driven in by Nick Punto, who's playing with Oakland. Smith fouls it back. Smith, a pedestrian 1 for 3 in this ball game compared to the rest of his series, in which all he's done in this his 4th game is have 3 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, and he's driven in 7 runs. Well, if you want extra bases, maybe Seth Smith can lay out another triple. He's thinking about it, and he'll stop there. Stanton got to it in the corner.
Wow.
Tommy had the amazing triple stat for Smith, who had gone a season full of at-bats without a triple before banging out 3 of them this year.
Yeah, he's got 3. He'd gone 603 at-bats. And just to add to that number, in his previous 893 at-bats, he had but 3 triples. So he's on an unbelievable tear. Here's the frustrating part about this game. You look at the lineup as the game started. Venable came in at 184. Jerko 167. Headley 192. Alonso, 189. Amarista, 183. These guys are all hitting like 400 hitters in this game and in this series.
Jerko 0 for 3. To right. Stanton had a little bit of trouble there at the end, and he makes the catch. Another double for Seth Smith. 5-0 San Diego. Marlins and Padres at Petco on a sunny day in San Diego. There was no inversion layer, no marine layer. It was pure sunshine when everybody woke up in San Diego this morning, and it has stayed that way. And we expect very warm temperatures up in Los Angeles for the 3-game series against the Dodgers. Maybe that will wake up the Marlins offensively.
You would also imagine that will help the ball carry a little bit at Dodger Stadium.
Garrett Jones lines that Robbie Erlin pitch into the seats. Robbie Erlin has been very, very good for the Padres. He has tied a career high with 7 strikeouts. He has scattered 5 hits. We were marveling at Derek Norris's 2 3-run homers, and a fan has tweeted in that both of them came on 3-0 pitches. Terrific play, Yonder Alonso. Jones has been robbed twice in this ball game. Denorfia got him in right, and Alonso gets him here.
Well, that's a terrific play by Yonder Alonso. Playing off the line a little bit. Ball pulled sharply by Garrett Jones. And you mentioned he lined out to right field. A great play by Denorfia, his first time up. And he's picked by Alonso right there. So frustrating afternoon offensively for Garrett Jones. And really, Erlin, I guess, was only in there to pitch to the left-hander, because that's going to be all for the 23-year-old.
6 in the 3rd innings of shutout ball in San Diego. his last 3 ball games. Dale Thayer comes on. And Eddie Echeverria with Jeff Mathis to follow. Echeverria's flied out and singled. Robbie Erlin is done. 6 1/3 innings. 5 hits. Did not give up a run. And importantly, did not walk a hitter. Struck out a career high tying 7.
Well, it was Dale Thayer, of course, the other night on an 0-2 pitch in the 11th inning, gave up that 2-run shot to Giancarlo for the game winner. Very aggressive, a lot of fastballs, a few sliders.
Those jerseys are the digital camo. The old style camo was sort of a what can I compare it to, like MASH, you know, the old camouflage. Now they've got the computer generated digital camo. Etch into center field, a base hit. Hit it hard. He's aboard. Mathis comes up. Take advantage of season ticket prices with the flexibility of coming to the ballpark when you want, with as many people as you want, with the new Marlin Flex Packs. 20 ticket vouchers starting at just $13 a game. Pick up the Flex Pack today. 1-877 Marlins. Go to marlins.com. Now Mathis. The game in Seattle is a wild one. Remember, Kansas City had a big lead. Ackley hit a couple of home runs. Seager hit a home run. Kansas City's back on top 9-7 now in the 7th inning. Johnny Giavotella hit a home run, a 2-run homer to put Kansas City on top. That is a guy that I do not have on my radar. Johnny Giavotella. Wonder if he knows Chris Colabello. But it's 9-7 Kansas City over Seattle. Mathis. And Jeff Mathis swings and misses. Derek Dietrich comes up now as a pinch hitter.
Now there's that aggressive, moving two-seam fastball by Thayer.
Dietrich hitting in Slowey's spot. Dietrich 1 for 9 in the series. Got the starts in the first 2 ball games.
Oh, yeah. Giavotella out of the University of New Orleans.
University of New Orleans, huh? Was that his first major league home run?
I said little bits and pieces with the Royals.
Dietrich hits that one well. Denorfia. Oh, he did it again!
Oh my goodness!
He makes the catch over his shoulder, and the Marlins inning is over. He robbed Jones of a hit. Look at this one. He robs Dietrich of a hit. As the Padres come off the field. For God Bless America.
spouse of 11.5 years, Shannon Morrell. Shannon is joined by her husband, Chief Warrant Officer 3 David Morrell of the Marine Light Attack Helicopter Squadron 469. Please sing along as Shannon presents God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Shannon Morrell.
Mom, Don Baker, happy Mother's Day. I wouldn't be here without you. I love you, and I appreciate everything you do.
Just wanted to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, Sally, and also to my wife, Holly, for her first Mother's Day.
I want to wish my mom, my wife, happy Mother's Day. I love you, miss you. Be home soon.
Happy Mother's Day to Margaret Willis from Tom. Happy Mother's Day to my mom and my wife. There's the record on Mother's Day. Marlins and Padres. Both teams 3 over the 500 mark on this Mother's Day in San Diego. It's been all Padres. Now, as we noted early in the ball game, Carlos Marmol designated for assignment, and Henry Rodriguez called up from New Orleans. You can see a 3.26 ERA.
And we talked about, it was just the other night that we talked about Rodriguez's numbers. The tremendous strikeout numbers, 37 in his 19 and a third, but an issue that he's always had, throwing strikes, because 23 walks in those 19 and a third innings. And with a few major league ball clubs, and when you look at his record at New Orleans, he had opportunities and he had some times where he pitched more than just one inning.
Yes, his last 3 appearances with New Orleans, 3 innings, struck out 4, walked no one. 2 innings, walked 4, struck out 5. And then 2 innings, struck out 5, walked no one. Those strikeouts were piling up. Every now and then the walks pop up. And for Rodriguez, it's in the major leagues, the walks have popped up more than just a time or two. Bouncer out to short. Echeverria on to first in time. Chase Headley out number 1 in the 7th. Here's the fan photo we promised you. Hashtag FL fan photo. It's a chance to be shown in a future telecast brought to you by AT&T. I think that's an upside down Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, we like the innovative photos. Think about Henry Rodriguez. It seems like, because we've heard about him, we've seen him. He's been around for years, but he's just 27 years old. But you see the velocity. He's upper 90s consistently.
He's facing Yasmani Grandal, who's 0 for 3.
This is a name that I think you will have heard of because it's kind of a legendary name in the game of baseball. But I think in this day, Steve Dalkowski would have had more of an opportunity. If you Google that, you'll see the incredible numbers that this guy was a little left-hander, but threw 100 miles an hour. But his minor league numbers, the walks and strikeouts are about equal. he would pitch games and walk 12 and strike out 14. Originally, I believe, drafted and signed by the Orioles.
Rodriguez walks Grandal, and here comes Alonso.
But back in those days, if you didn't throw strikes, it didn't matter. It's different now. If you throw 99, you're going to get looks.
Our best wishes, by the way, for a speedy recovery to Josh Johnson, who in San Diego, after undergoing his second Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I feel bad we missed JG. I heard he was in the Padre clubhouse today.
Swing and a miss. Yonder Alonso, a very nice series, 7 hits in 13 at bats, including 3 doubles.
Not for the series that Seth Smith has had. We'd be throwing all the offensive praises on Yonder Alonso.
It's a swing. Lance Barrett calling it at third base.
Steve Dalkowski, by the way, in his minor league career was 46 and 80. He threw 970 innings and had over 1,200 walks, 1,274 walks.
How many strikeouts?
Not as many as I would have thought. He had 614.
To right, Stanton makes the catch. So Alonso is out number 2.
Most of it in the Orioles organization. big article a number of years ago in Sports Illustrated about Steve Dalkowski.
Here is Amarista. Speaking of Tommy John surgery, if you're a baseball fan and you missed MLB Network's roundtable the other day on Tommy John surgery and arm issues and injuries, Jim Cott, Tom Verducci, Dr. David Alchek, I think James Andrews was on that panel as well. Pitch was a called strike. If you have a chance to, you've got it on demand on your cable provider, that's a show to check out. Fascinating discussion.
You know, right now Jeff Mathis saying, hey, at least give me a chance to throw somebody out. And there's been some relievers, and again, this is not just Marlins. It's kind of across the board in baseball. A lot of guys who come in late in games have a hard time holding runners. Well, with Jim Cott, you certainly get the old school viewpoint. With Tom Verducci, you get the modern ideas.
Well, Verducci wrote a terrific article, I want to say 3 weeks ago, just on the doctor's views and the proliferation or the explosion of Tommy John injuries. And the alarming thing, if you watch that show, is the number of surgeries that the doctors do on 14, 15, 16-year-old kids.
You want to just shout out and yell to parents, let the kids play a number of sports. Let them play baseball, let them play soccer, let them play basketball, even football. But you know, if you're playing baseball in areas where you can for 12 months a year, for 8 to 12 years old, way too much throwing.
And that, I guess, one of the points that was made during that discussion is that for many of the major league organizations that are trying to prevent injuries, the damage for a lot of players is done before they're drafted and signed. From travel ball, year-round playing for pitchers.
And you know, as a father of a couple of grown sons now who went through that, they were a little before all the travel teams, but you even had high school coaches frowning on the kid who maybe played basketball and it ran into baseball season and he wasn't working out with the team. And you know, that's too bad too. That's a sad scenario.
The showcases now, where sometimes for a hitter, a chance to get in there and swing in front of the scouts, and sometimes for a pitcher that's not ramped up, is so focused on throwing in the 90s, throw 95, or you know, what is he?
Figures he's going to get that scout's attention.
Yeah, and that can do damage too if you're not ramped up. I think the other thing is, I was talking to Bud Black about it yesterday, is kids just don't play enough catch, and not pitching from a mound and throwing maximum effort, but playing catch every day. Long toss, stretching the arm out, building up arm strength.
That would be one. I can remember Jim Cott. I can remember Steve Carlton. After starts, the next day, they would want to play long toss in the outfield just to stretch it out, get loose a little bit.
Two. I think one conclusion you draw is that it's incumbent upon coaches, youth coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, and parents to limit and be cautious with the arms of pitchers. And many pitchers will pitch a game, and the next game they're catching.
Or they're the shortstop, because they're usually one of the better players.
Right.
And they're making a long throw from the hole.
Swing and a miss. Henry Rodriguez gets through the inning. 5-0 Padres.
started on the second pitch of the game, thrown by Henderson Alvarez. Will Venable with a solo shot, his first of the year. Actually, Amarista, he's got some big hits against the Marlins this year. Gets another one today. Large cast of offense. That one was Denorfia with a base hit. And you know what? Just for good measure, we figured we'd throw in Seth Smith, mainly because he is 9 for 17 in this 4-game series. Now, I hate to be the bearer of all that bad news.
Well, that's your job. It's in your job description. I've seen the contract. Tommy Hutton will dutifully read and narrate the game summary in each 8th inning and render his analyst services no matter the score or game situation.
To check on that fine print when we go up to LA. At the next seminar that we attend, I'll check on that.
I think you'll find Joe Simpson has that same clause.
Mark Grant
next door
has that. Yeah.
Mud just got through with their.
It was a happy occasion for Mud though today.
Although I think for Mud it's Santa. Is it Santa Anita? What's the racetrack up there? Oh, Del Mar.
Del Mar, just up the road.
So it's the Del Mar scoring summary instead of Gulfstream Park. Yelich a 1 for 3. Reed Johnson, Giancarlo Stanton. In the 8th, and a 5-0 San Diego lead. A.J. Ramos. Yelich, right center, into the wind, and onto the beach. Christian Yelich, his 3rd home run. And Miami is finally on the board. It's a 5-1 game.
Well, there's a great example of the hidden power that Christian Yelich has. That ball jumped out of here. And a happy Mother's Day to Christian's mom, who's here at the ball game. She's been here this whole series. And imagine she'll be up in Los Angeles.
What a nice Mother's Day present. There's Reed Johnson.
See, can you have, I know we talk about walk-up songs. No, I'm not talking about Marlins in this ballpark, but if you're the Padres, you talk about walk-up songs.
Johnson up the middle into center field.
Another base hit for Reed Johnson.
A couple of 2-hit games for Johnson.
Can you have like an exit song? Like if you hit a home run into the beach, Beach Boys starts playing.
That would be a walk-off song or an exit song.
Yeah.
Well, you get I think you only get a song before you do something.
And that was my question. If you could create something after you do something into that beach area, play a Beach Boys song.
Yeah, but then old schoolers like you would rail upon the player that did it.
You see the pitcher out there who gave up the shot. Listen to everybody's gone surfing.
Pitchers are angry enough as it is. 5-1 Padres. of the Marlins. Christian Yelich, a home run for the Marlins' first run. Let's check in with Allison Williams.
Well, Rich, not too far from Petco Park is an area of San Diego known as Little Italy, and on several of the light posts they feature some of the great Italian-American baseball players. Craig Biggio, Jason Giambi, Jason Grilli, and the Marlins' own Jared Saltalamacchia is even featured. He had not seen it in person, but saw a picture of it, liked it very much, thought it was pretty cool. The very long Italian last name that he has there prominently featured. And you can hear more about Jared Saltalamacchia. He's the subject of our latest Inside the Marlins. It's called Coming Home, as Salty does just that by signing with the Marlins, returning to South Florida where he grew up in Palm Beach County. And we will actually go to his home to sit down and interview him in his airplane hangar, which he has converted into a man space, if you will, complete with a batting cage, workout area. He also has an in-home movie theater that we will get a tour of, and his home office, which features a lot of really special mementos from his World Series championship with the Boston Red Sox. We'll also feature his high school coaches, his mother, and his dad. So that will all debut after Marlins Live postgame today, guys.
All right, thank you, Allison. Joaquin Benoit is in again.
I have heard that it is the ultimate man cave.
Benoit facing Stanton, runner at first. He throws a strike. Benoit worked an inning in last night's win, and he worked 2 innings on Thursday night. Thursday night, the Marlins won the ball game because of that man right there, Giancarlo Stanton, a 2-run homer in the 11th. But it's been all Padres ever since.
So the Marlins in this series, if it 4 home runs, 2 of them have come off Dale Thayer. The big one that Stanton hit, the one that Christian Yelich just hit. McGee homered for the first time this year last night, and Ozuna hit a blast.
One, two. At the plate. Fouled there. Stanton has extended his hit streak to 13 games. He has a hit in each game, just 1. All but the Thursday night singles. Thursday, of course, was that incredible line drive homer, which ended up just about in the same spot as Yelich's home run, but they took very different paths. Stanton sends that one into right center field, and it falls. Amazingly, Denorfia didn't catch it because he's caught everything else out there in this ball game.
Of course, that hitting streak for Stanton, a career high. Yeah, and outfielders play deep, and anytime Stanton swings and hits a ball, your first move is that's got to go deep. Well, he didn't hit that one all that well, and a good job by Reed Johnson to play that right and get enough off first base so that he could get into second.
McGee 0 for 3. He lined to right his last time up. Got a fastball and he missed it.
Well, the Marlins here in the 8th inning put together 3 straight hits.
Benoit misses outside. Marlins have used a pair of pinch hitters, Donovan Solano and Derek Dietrich, after a short start by Henderson Alvarez. Sarah McGee, Casey's wife, in the white with the 2 children.
Terrific article on the McGees and what she has meant to Casey and his family with their travels in Japan last year.
Benoit does not look as sharp as he did last night. Scoreless inning with a pair of strikeouts last night. 2-2. It's in the dirt. The count now 3-2.
Having trouble commanding that changeup, which is a good pitch for him.
Runners in scoring position. A terrific year. His first home run of the season yesterday. He and Giancarlo Stanton have combined to drive in more runs than any pair of teammates in baseball. Stanton at 40, McGee at 25. Three-two coming.
Got that fastball. It's still a live fastball from Joaquin Benoit. And you kind of had a feeling he'd see that because of his struggles with the changeup.
Trying to get Benoit through this. McGee trying to stay alive here with a 3-2 coming. Sends it to right field. DeNorfield lines it up and makes the catch.
Boy, last 2 ABs for Casey McGee. A couple of line drives to the wrong guy, that right fielder, Chris DeNorfield.
There's Jeff Baker now with Garrett Jones on deck. Baker in this ball game has singled and bounced to short twice. Liner to right. DeNorfield doesn't get it, and it gets by him. And Stanton may score to third. Butler will send him. Johnson's in. Stanton's in. Baker to third, and all of a sudden Miami is within a couple runs. He's caught everything today, but not that one. DeNorfield, a terrific try. It scoots by. And it's going to be a 2-run triple.
Triple all the way. Another solid AB by Jeff Baker. His second hit today. And you had the feeling anything going out toward DeNorfield he was going to catch with what he's done this afternoon. A diving attempt that gets by him. And just like that, it's a nice little ball game here all of a sudden. A 2-run lead for the Padres.
And this is a big at-bat here for Garrett Jones. Benoit has that devastating changeup. Jones digs in. Infield's back. Baker's at third. And he pops it foul and out of play. Jones robbed of hits in the second by Denorfia, and the seventh by Alonso. So he's had good swings and takes outside.
Again, that changeup not quite there command-wise for Benoit.
Hey, Joaquin, go get it. Go get it.
Houston Street, Padres closer, is up 1 out in the 8th. Miami has scored 3 times here.
Yeah, he came back with a good one. The arm action gets you thinking fastball, which we've seen is 96. And you start that swing a little too soon.
You see the frustration from Jones. Baker's at third. 1-2.
And you're right about this AB, because with the infield back, contact, a ground ball, unless it's right back to Benoit, good chance for the Marlins to make it a 1-run game.
Trying to knock in the run. 2-2. Wow, way up. 96 miles an hour. Well, you got a strike on the changeup with Jones. So you wonder if he'd throw it again here.
I wonder if you're Garrett Jones, you can't look for it, because you have to be ready to pull the trigger on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Let's see what he gets. Infield still back. 3-2. Fastball up. Jones walks. And here comes Echeverria. This was a Dale Thayer inning to start with. Christian Yelich homered. Reed Johnson singled. Benoit came in the ball game. Stanton singled. McGee lined out. Baker a 2-run triple. Jones has walked. Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach of the Padres, is out. You got Echeverria now, who has singled in his last 2 at-bats.
There's a week's worth of pitching for Benoit. Maybe catching up to him a little bit here. He's not sharp. And it's a situation where you have a guy, and I'm sure Buddy Black's wavering, bringing in his closer in the 8th inning, but you want to try to take advantage of Benoit while you can.
Jeff Mathis is scheduled on deck. Jared Saltalamacchia is on deck. Padre infield looks for 2. Amarista and Jerko. Headley's even at the bag at third. Swing and a miss. Ball to the screen. It takes a wild carom, and Baker thinks better of it. Boy, Echeverria did not see that ball at all.
Well, you don't see many hitters at this level go out of the strike zone this far.
The bad news is he swung. The good news is the double play is no longer in order.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of room back there. It was a good choice by Baker not to come home.
And the Padre infield, let's see what they do. The middle infield is back.
So is first baseman.
Third base even. So a ground ball up the middle could produce a run. A base hit could tie the game. But that's in the dirt, and I don't know how much longer Bud Black is going to stay with Benoit, because he does not look sharp. I mean, Foxtrot's it barely registers on the radar.
The first pitch that Echeverria swung at barely registered.
It was 5-0 coming into the 8th inning here. Miami 3 runs and a chance to pick up more. Not a lot of speed out there. Baker at third, Jones at second.
Not afraid to use that changeup to righties. That was one of his better ones this inning.
Now the count 1-2. He's bounced a couple in this at bat. Two and two.
They stayed with it again. You can see the difference in his changeup. There's about a 9 or 10 mile an hour difference between the changeup and fastball.
Benoit has recorded 1 out, the line drive by McGee, and thrown 23 pitches to do that. Fastball, ground ball up the middle. It's going to score a run. Jerko has it, and Echeverria makes it 5-4. And how big is that wild pitch now?
Yeah, if that same ground ball happens, it could be a double play. But give some credit to Echeverria too, just making contact, not striking out, putting the ball in play, and making it a 1-run game. And where he hit the ball, it also allowed Jones to get over to third. We've already seen Benoit uncork a wild pitch.
So Jones is at third. Saltalamacchia going after a fastball. And it's 0-1. Marcell Ozuna has appeared on deck. 0-1 pitch.
All series, the Padre pitchers have been climbing the ladder with good live fastballs. Ozuna waits on deck. So Benoit has two choices. He can go up with that, or he can go with his bread and butter pitch, that changeup.
There's that 0-2. Fastball up, in, and he struck him out. Miami gets 4, still a run shy. And it started with young Christian Yelich on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Don't shy. It's never too late to download MLB at the ballpark. Mobile app, great features throughout the year. You can check in through the app and earn free tickets. Download the free MLB.com at the ballpark app today. In San Diego, a couple of changes. Jared Saltalamacchi stays in the ball game, obviously behind the plate. AJ Ramos becomes relief pitcher number 3 after a short start from Henderson Alvarez, who went 4 innings.
He'll be facing a pinch hitter. Nick Huntley is going to lead things off, pinch hitting for Joaquin Benoit. Not too many walks when you see the line of AJ, but other than that, he's throwing the ball pretty well.
Kevin Slowey, 2 innings of scoreless relief. Henry Rodriguez made his Miami Marlin debut, an inning in scoreless relief. And here's Ramos trying to keep it a 1-run game. And they get to the 9th, and the Marlins undoubtedly will be facing Houston Street.
Well, they'll get a pinch hitter, probably Ozuna, and then back to the top of the order. So you get one man on base, get a chance to see Giancarlo. But don't go away. That's what we're suggesting.
Ramos now with a count 3-1. Giants and Dodgers have gone to the bottom of the 9th with San Francisco up 4-2. Sergio Romo is having another nice year, trying to close it for the Giants. Reed Johnson makes the catch. Time for the Geico quote with AJ Ramos.
Well, she was a nurturer. My dad was kind of the one that kept pushing me and doing the hard work, like as far as, you know, on the field and everything. But my mom, you know, she was always there for me when my dad was too hard on me. And she gave me the undying love no matter how good or how bad I pitched. So she just, I don't know, just makes my day better. She texts me after every game saying, you know, pray to God and all this. And it's just a good feeling just to know that she's out there and she's proud of me, and it's just, I'm excited to be here.
Mother's Day greeting.
I like when AJ initially gave us his Mother's Day greeting. He covered everything: grandma, aunt, there's an aunt there, and his mom.
Ramos 1-1 on Will Venable. Solo homer to start the day. Has walked, struck out, and bounced out. Check swing. McGee, tough play, and he doesn't make it. A lot of things going on there. He had a fast runner. McGee also, I think, saw Ramos out of the corner of his eye.
Yeah, I think there was good and bad news. I believe, and you could hear Casey calling Ramos off. But because there was a little bit of a collision, he just couldn't make the transfer and listen in. Yeah, you can hear Casey calling, I got it. And it'll be a base hit.
Now DeNorfia, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a threat to run at first. Is Venable, though he hasn't stolen a base this year. He's normally a guy that can get you a bag. And the Padres have run a lot against Miami in this series. Washington finally got a run, but they were woefully short after Oakland and Derek Norris ambushed Gio Gonzalez. A pair of 3-run homers, apparently both on 3-0 pitches for Norris. 9-1 Oakland. The Nationals go down. They're at 19 and 18. Tommy talked earlier about the Mets and the Phillies and that wild game. The Mets ended up winning the ball game in 11, 5-4. Both those teams now at 17 and 19.
Ruben Tejada with a base hit, a game-winning single.
He went. Ramos gets a strikeout of Denorfia.
Somehow you just knew that Seth Smith would come up here.
Well, it's fitting. Smith has just been an incredible force. He now has an 8-game hit streak, and in those 8 games, he has 17 hits. And of those 17 hits, 11 have been for extra bases.
And that's 17 for 31.
4 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, 7 RBIs in this series.
The kind of series he's having is reminiscent of the series that Cameron Maben had against the Marlins in 2011 back in South Florida. Maben had 9 hits in that series. Smith has 9 hits in this series. Maben made some tremendous defensive plays. Smith's been okay in the outfield. He's made every play that he's had.
One of his old ball clubs in action today in Cincinnati. They ran into Homer Bailey, who's really good at 3-2. Bailey gets the win. The story there, though, Aroldis Chapman picked up a save. And good to see him back after taking the ball in the face at the end of spring training. The major surgery that he had.
And they wasted no time getting him in. He was just activated.
He struck out the side in his debut. Charlie Blackmon hit his 9th home run. Smith was a regular in Colorado for some time.
And as most, when you look at Rockies players, about 240 games in his career at Coors Field, 299 career average at Coors, almost 300.
Swing and a miss.
Good change up by A.J. Ramos.
Two and 2. Venable still at first. Jed Jerko on deck. 2-2 coming. Venable moves, swing and a miss, and Ramos gets through the 8th, the scoreless 8th to the 9th. Miami has crawled within a run. Houston Street for the Padres. Christian Yelich due up for Miami. He's homered in the ballgame.
for all the things you've done for me over the years, and I appreciate you, and I love you very much.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you, and thank you for everything you've done for me and for all your support when I was growing up as a kid.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
And on Mother's Day, Miami's comeback is a run shy. Houston Street, the veteran closer for the Padres, is in. You can see a terrific ERA. He's 10 of 10 this year in save opportunities.
Houston Street with a good two-seamer, slider, change up once in a while. We'll face a pinch hitter in Marcell Ozuna, who in this series, Ozuna did hit a long home run, but he struck out 5 times. He struck out 3 times in a row last night.
Here's a look at Ozuna. As you pointed out, it's Ozuna, Yelich, Reed Johnson, and if anybody gets on, Giancarlo Stanton. And so here we go in the 9th. Marlins got 4 runs in the 8th. Yelich's home run, Jeff Baker's 2-run triple were the big hits. Street misses up with a fastball. Looks back at the mound. Street, as a right-hander, occupies the very first base side of the rubber, almost to the point where he's not even on the rubber. A lot of guys push off the rubber. He's sort of side saddle. You can see that mark that comes off the rubber is where his foot usually ends up. Ozuna, line drive, base hit into right field, and Miami has life in the 9th.
Boy, there's a good start off the end of the bat. Good job by Marcell Ozuna not to try to do too much. Pretty good pitch, too, by Houston Street. It was down, it was away, and just out of the reach of Jed Jerko.
Now Yelich, 2 hits here, including his 3rd home run of the season. Out into the beach, that sandy area in right center field. Despite a breeze that's blowing in from center.
Hey, double play now. Hey, there's one. Hey, one.
Again, the differences, we talk about the Marlins play at home, the Marlins play on the road. At home, you play this maybe a little differently.
At home, you play to tie it and get to extras. There's Yelich's mom, Alicia.
Hey, 2 now. Hey, 2.
If you just popped in and you missed the Yelich at bat off of Dale Thayer.
I would love to see the distance of this one, because this one traveled a long way. And got a thumbs up from Mom, too.
He's behind in the count here to Street, 0-2. Just low. Yelich out of Thousand Oaks, California. And just 22.
Yeah, we'll see Street use that changeup more to left-handers. He tried it on that last pitch to Yelich.
Yelich up the middle. Amarista got 1, won't get 2. Yelich runs well, and he beat the throw.
Well, with 2 strikes, a pitcher and a smart pitcher and a good pitcher, such as Houston Street, can try to make his pitch. He did. It was close enough, but the Padres couldn't turn 2 because of Yelich's speed.
Now, Bud Black came out momentarily just in case the Padres wanted to challenge, but he got the sign pretty quickly from his dugout that the call was correct. 1 out, Reed Johnson now. Yelich with very good speed at first. Johnson pulls one hard, but foul.
On a breaking ball, they kind of hung inside. Wouldn't be surprised to see Christian Yelich try to step off a nice lead and get a good jump and take off.
Check swing. I think he went. He did. And it's 0-2.
Couldn't lay off that high fastball.
Yelich is 4 of 5 in stolen bases this year. And Yasmani Grandal has yet to throw a base stealer out. Base stealers are 17 of 17 against the Padres catcher. He's not getting a whole lot of help from his pitching staff. And Johnson, it's a soft fly ball out into center field. Venable lines it up and makes the catch. Well, now you're seeing Yelich stationary at first because you've got Stanton at the plate. And he's 2 for 4. The Friar's mom is here apparently with the like the 60s bandana going as well. And so here's Stanton. And the ball game comes down to this. The Padre outfield very, very deep. Ball in the gap. Yelich has the speed to score. And Street bends one and misses outside.
You know, and there still is a thought of a stolen base. But the last thing you want is for Yelich to be thrown out and Stanton left standing at the plate. Because we know that Casey McGee, who's on deck, has hit so well with runners in scoring position.
Hey, he's dead.
It's in. It's 2-0. I think Stanton was leaning out thinking breaking ball there.
And we also know that Stanton can hit big home runs on Mother's Day.
Pitch actually caught the plate and was let her high. Well, earlier in the telecast, we showed you the grand slam against the Mets on Mother's Day in 2012. It was a walk-off shot. There's McGee. 3-0. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a fastball and it is around the middle of the plate. Look how far out Grandal has set up. That's up. Stanton walks. And now Yelich is in scoring position, and here's McGee. And that's the value of having a guy like Stanton whom pitchers fear. He didn't get anything to hit, but it puts a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, it's one thing to say, well, they pitch around Stanton, but all of a sudden now Yelich gets into scoring position for a guy who has done a job to this point all year in these situations.
McGee's hit it hard his last 2 times up. He's lined to right both times. The tying run is at second with 2 outs in the 9th. Houston Street. It's out.
Now Houston Street has to get back into mode after not coming close on his pitches to Stanton. Now he has to get back into that strike throwing mode to McGee.
Crowd wasn't happy. It's 1-0.
Got a good pitch to hit.
Ball and a strike. Houston Street is not your power closer. He's a guy that mixes, matches, has great location, and a variety of pitches. He's a lot like a lot of the guys Casey McGee saw in Japan last season.
Boy, that's a good analogy. Exactly. Not going to give you a whole lot. He makes you be a patient hitter, which is something Casey McGee has told us he became more of in Japan.
Yelich has a nice lead at second. 2-1 coming. It's outside. Now it's 3-1. Crowd's unhappy, but from this vantage point, you could see the pitch was out. Street struggling with his control.
Green light. Green light. Now to do it out.
You can see where pitch 4 was.
Green light, Mighty Casey. Take the hack there, hitter.
3-1. That's out as well, and McGee walks. Houston Street has walked Giancarlo Stanton and Casey McGee, and now Jeff Baker, who had a big hit in the 8th. The 2-run triple. He is 2 for 4 in the ballgame.
And who can forget the walk-off base hit Baker got against the Dodgers, and it was against the right-hander, Jamie Wright.
A little more pressure on Grandal now, too, because the tying run is 90 feet away. Bags are loaded, 2 out, 9th inning. Street trying to protect a 1-run lead. Breaking ball popped up, first base side, towards the seats, and out of play.
Tell you what, the way Jeff Baker went after that, he went up there saying, I'm going to get first pitch slider. He got first pitch slider. You can tell by his swing, just popped it out of play.
Outfield is playing Baker to right center field. DeNorfia is not very deep in right. Miami was down 5-0 going into the 8th. 0-1 pitch. And now Street is out in front of Baker, 0-2.
Street's slider is of that frisbee slider. It's not the downward plane slider that we saw from Tyson Ross the other night.
0-2 pitch. Baker stays alive. Another slider. He's had 3 sliders in a row. Yelich, Stanton, McGee. Bags loaded. Baker digs in. 0-2 with 2 outs. Fastball missed. Wow. Street wanted it.
Wow. After all those sliders, he tried to freeze Baker with the fastball.
It's out, and it's plainly out.
It was outside.
Remember, the center field camera is not a true straight center. It's offset. And so that clearly outside. Counts 1-2. See if he goes back to the slider. He does. Ground ball at short. And the Padres win it. Houston Street with a slider. Jeff Baker bounced it to short, and Miami's comeback ends in the ninth. 5-4 the final. The Padres take the final 3 games of the 4-game set. Houston Street now 11 of 11 in save opportunities, and there's your final. Padres win it.